on 9. Oh. Alright, the whole world might be happier. See? I have teeth again. But my mouth hurts, and I don't know if I can read, so we're going to give it a try. Our master came originally from Fujian, but took his vows upon Mount Huang-Po in this prefecture while he was still very young. In the center of his forehead was a small lump shaped like a pearl. His voice was soft and agreeable, his character unassuming and placid. Some years after his ordination, while journeying to Mount Tiantai, he fell in with a monk with whom he soon came to feel like an old acquaintance, and so they continued their journey together. Finding the way barred by a mountain stream in flood, our master leant upon his staff and halted, at which his friend entreated him to proceed. "No, you go first," said our master. So the former floated his big straw rain hat on the torrent and easily made his way to the other side. "I," sighed the master, "have allowed such a fellow to accompany me. I ought to have slain him with the blow of my staff. Because you used the magical powers? Let's see what the footnote says. It was from this mountain that the venerable Saiyun received the name by which he was most commonly known until today. He used his hat as a raft. And third, this antidote seems to mean that the other monk was displaying one of the supernormal powers which dhyana practice brings in its train, but should properly be regarded as mere byproducts, never to be used except in case of dire necessity. Huang-Po was clearly disgusted with his companion for showing off. "I intend to visit all the places where the 5 kinds of Zen are taught," he replied. Oops, sorry, I skipped a line. Once, a certain monk taking leave of Master Kuei Tsang was asked where he intended to go. "I intend to go to all the places where the 5 kinds of Zen are taught," he replied. "Oh!" exclaimed Kuei Tsang. "Other places may have 5 kinds, but here we only have the 1 kind." But when the monk inquired what it was, he received a sudden blow. I see, he shouted excitedly. "Speak! Speak!" roared Kuei Tsang. So the monk got ready to say something further, but just at that moment he received another blow. Afterwards, this same monk arrived at our master's monastery, and, being asked by Huang-Po where he had come from, he explained that he had recently left Kuei Tsang. "And what instructions did you receive from him?" inquired our master, whereupon the monk related the above story. During the next assembly, our master took this antidote for his text, and said, "Master Ma really excels the 84 deeply enlightened ones. The questions that people ask, are all of them no better than stinking muck saturating the ground. There is only Kuei Tsang who is worth something." Our master once attended an assembly at the Bureau of the Imperial Sultan's Commissioners, at which the Emperor Tai-chung was also present as a Shramanera, a layman who had taken the 10 precepts instead of the normal 5. The Shramanera noticed our master enter the hall of worship and made a triple prostration to the Buddha, whereupon he asked, "If we were to seek nothing from the Buddha, Dharma, or the Sangha, What does your reverence seek by such prostrations? Noticed our master in the... Oh. Well, I can't quite distinguish who's doing the bowing here. Did the master bow or the kid bow? But he noticed our master entered the hall of worship and make triple prostrations to the Buddha, whereupon he asked, if we're not to seek anything from Buddha, the Dharma, or the Sangha, what does your reverence seek by such prostrations? Ah, though I seek not from the Buddha, replied our master, or from the Dharma, or from the Sangha, it is my custom to show respect in this way. But what purpose does it serve? Insisted the Shramanera, whereupon he suddenly received a slap. Oh! He exclaimed, how uncouth you are! What is this? Cried the master. Imagine making a distinction between refined and uncouth. So saying, he administered another slap, causing the Shramanera to betake himself elsewhere. During his travels, our master paid a visit to Nanchuan. I'm not going to pronounce it. His senior. One day at dinner time, he took his bowl and seated himself opposite of Nanchuan's high chair. Noticing them there, Nanchuan stepped down to receive him and asked, well, how long has your reverence been following the way? Since before the era of Bhishma Raja, came the reply. Indeed? Exclaimed Nanchuan. It seems that Master Ma has a worthy grandson here. Our master then walked quietly away. A few days later, when our master was going out, Nanchuan remarked, you are a huge man, so why wear a hat of such ridiculous size? Ah, well, replied our master, it contains vast numbers of chilocosms. Well, what of me? Inquired Nanchuan. But the master put on his hat and walked off. Another day, our master seated in the tea room, when Nanchuan came down and asked him, what is meant by clear insight into the Buddha nature results from the study of dhyana, which is mind control, and prajna, which is wisdom? Our master replied, it means that from morning till night we should never rely on a single thing. But isn't it just that your reverence's own concepts? Isn't this just your reverence's own concepts of its meaning? Well, how could it be so presumptuous? Well, your reverence, some people might pay out cash for rice water, but whom could you ask to give anything for a pair of homemade straw sandals like that? At this our master remained silent. Later, Wei Shan mentioned the incident to Yun Shan, inquiring if our master's silence betokened defeat. Oh no, answered Yang. Surely you know that Huang-Po has a tiger's cunning. Indeed, there's no limit to your profundity, explained the other. How could I be so presumptuous? Okay, think it over. Since our master requested a short leave of absence, and Nan Shan, new person, asked where he was going. I'm just off to gather some vegetables. What are you going to cut them with? Our master held up his knife, whereupon Nan Shan remarked, well, that's all right for a guest, but not for a host. Our master showed his appreciation with a triple prostration. One day, 5 new arrivals presented themselves to our master in a group. One of them, instead of making the customary prostration, remained standing and greeted him somewhat casually with the motion of his clasped hands. "And do you know how to be a good hunting dog?" inquired our master. "I must follow the antelope's scent." "Suppose it leaves no scent, what will you follow then?" "Then I'd follow its hoof prints." "And if there were no hoof prints, what then?" "I could still follow the animal's tracks." "But what if there were not even tracks? How could you follow it then?" "In that case," said the newcomer, "it would surely be a dead antelope." Our master said nothing more at that time, but on the following morning after his sermon he asked, "Will yesterday's antelope hunting monk now step forward?" The monk complied, and our master inquired, "Yesterday, my reverend friend, you were left without anything to say. How is that?" "Oh, what? Who said that?" "What? Hold my horses. Master said, 'Yesterday, my reverend friend, you were left without anything to say. How was that?'" Finding that the other returned no answer, he continued, "Ah, you may call yourself a real monk, but you are just an amateur novice." That'd be good enough for me. I'm a real monk. Woo! I'd walk out there. I'm a real monk. I'm a real monk. I'm a real monk. Monk, 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 monk. I'm a real monk, monk, monk. Anyway, that's why I'm not there, because they can't handle me. Sorry. Zen masters would probably hate me too. Because I'd be like, "Hey, how's the monk thing? Yeah, praise the Buddha." Anyway, shh, shh, shh. I'm so unserious. You like to smile? Yay, I can smile again. Woo! I feel ugly. Imagine that. Explain that psychology. I feel ugly because I can smile and look like a human being again. Okay. Shh. Serious time. Once, when our master had just dismissed the first of the daily when our master had just dismissed the first of daily assemblies at the Kwai Yun monastery near Huang-Po, I happened to enter its precincts. Presently, I noticed a wall painting, and, by questioning the monk in charge of the monastery's administration, learned that it was a portrait of a certain famous monk. "Indeed," I said, "yes, I can see his likeness before me, but where is the man himself?" My question was received in silence, so I remarked, "But surely there are Zen monks in this temple, aren't there?" "Yes," replied the monastery administrator, "there is one." After that, I requested an audience with the master and repeated to him my recent conversation. "Pei-su!" cried the master. "Sir," I answered respectfully, "where are you?" Realizing that no reply was possible to such a question, I hesitated to ask the master to re-enter the hall and continue his sermon. When the master had taken his place in the assembly hall, he began, "You people are just like drunkards. I don't know how you manage to keep on your feet in such a sodden condition. Why, everyone will die laughing at you. It all seems so easy. So why do we have to live to see a day like this? Can't you understand that in the whole empire of Tang, there are no teachers skilled in Zen?" At this point, one of the monks present asked, "How can you say that? At this very moment, as we all can see, we are sitting face to face with one who has appeared in the world." To be a teacher of monks and leader of men. Please note that I did not say there is no Zen, answered our master. I merely pointed out that there are no teachers. Later, Wei Shan reported this conversation to Yang Shan and asked what it implied. And Yang Shan said, "That swan is able to extract pure milk from the adulterated mixture. It is very clear that he is not just an ordinary duck." "Ah," responded the other, "yes, the point he made was very subtle." One day, I brought a statue of the Buddha, and kneeling respectfully before our master, begged him to bestow upon me a sacred honorific. "Beitsu," he cried. "Yes, master?" "How is it that you will still consider yourself with names? You still concern yourself with names?" All I could do was prostrate myself in silence. And there was another time, when I offered our master a poem I had written. He took it in his hands, but soon sat down and pushed it away. "Do you understand?" he asked. "Oh, master." "But why don't you understand? Think a little. If things could be expressed like this, with ink and paper, what would be the purpose of a sect like ours?" My poem ran as follows. When his master bequeathed him mind intuition, he of great height, with a pearl on his forehead, dwelt for 10 years by the river in Sichuan, now like a chalice borne by the waters. He has come to rest on the banks of the Chang. 1,000 disciples follow behind him, with dragon mane glorious, bearing the fragrance of flowers from air. These are aspirant Buddhas, yet desiring to serve him humbly as pupils. Who knows upon which the transmission will fall? Our master later replied with another poem. Mind is a mighty ocean, a sea which knows no bounds. Words are but scarlet lotus to cure the lesser ills. Though there be times of leisure when my hands both lie and rest, 'tis not to welcome idlers that I raise them to my breasts. Devastating. I don't think I would like those words. Our master said, "Those who desire progress along the way must first cast out the dross acquired through heterogeneous learning. Above all, they must avoid seeking for anything objective or permitting themselves any sort of attachment. Having listened to the profoundest doctrines, they must behave as though a light breeze had caressed their ears. A gust had passed away in the blink of an eye. By no means may they attempt to follow such doctrines. To act in accordance with these injunctions is to achieve profundity. The motionless contemplation of the Tathagatas implies the Zen-mindedness of one who has left the round of birth and death forever. From the days of when Bodhidharma first transmitted not but the one mind, there has been other valid dramas. Oh, I'm sorry, there has been no other valid drama. I'm sorry, you know why I got distracted? because this teaching actually goes on for many more pages. Again, I should have listened to my intuition when it said don't start this one, because our time was short. So I will. There's no other valid Dharma. And we'll just start at the top of the page tomorrow or later, and maybe I'll backpedal it. Who knows? Okay? Just remember that Bodhidharma said that there is no other valid Dharma of one mind. And then we'll be ready for the lesson in the morning. Or later.